What's up guys and welcome back to the Kamui dimension. Boruto chapter 70 is out, so let's just dive right into the chapter. We start off the chapter right where we left off last time, with Eida thinking about Shikamaru's offer to join the Leaf Village. When Eida starts to ask questions and consider the proposal, Code gets mad and is all like, "You better not ditch me, Eida," but she tells him to shush because she has every right to consider the offer. Eida then activates her eye and Shikamaru notices, and Naruto shows up and tries to enter the code to unlock the door, but he can't get in because Ino changed the code. But Shikamaru explains to Naruto that it's just to protect him and the others from Eida's jutsu, and he asks Naruto to just let him handle it. He also tells Naruto not to destroy the expensive lock system and force his way in there because the village's budget is already shrinking every year as it is, which I thought was a really interesting addition there. I don't know if that was meant to imply something about how Naruto and Kakashi wanted the world to transition away from being a world that needs ninja, but because of that, the village doesn't make as much money as it could be making to avoid all of the new expensive technology, or if it was just meant to be a funny, "Hey Naruto, don't destroy our expensive door" kind of moment. Anyway, Eida asks Shikamaru if he told a colleague to lock the door to protect the others from her ability, and Shikamaru is like, "She knows what's going on outside? But how?" Then says, "I see, it's that left eye of hers." And then Amado jumps in and explains that she has the Senrigan, which allows her to see what's happening anywhere in the world, and that she can even view past events too, and so you can't hide anything from her, for the most part. And I thought that last part was interesting because Amado is kind of telling the reader that you can hide some things from her, as even Eida doesn't seem to know all about Amado's motives and plans with Kawaki. And so one way to hide things from her is to just be like Amado and just withhold information all the time, and we'll get into that in just a minute. And another example is the conversations using Ino's jutsu, as Shikamaru points out that she must not be able to peer all the way inside your heart since she can't seem to hear them talk to each other. Unlike Eida though, you can't hide from me. I'm watching you guys. So if you're new to the channel or one of the 6,000 returning viewers that are watching my videos but not subscribing, I don't have ulterior motives like Eida and Amado, so you can safely subscribe and like the video if you enjoy the content. Eida then says she assumed that Shikamaru would just view her as an enemy, but he's right. There's no need for hostility between her and Konoha, and Shikamaru tells her to decide between Konoha and Code, and decide which sounds like the better choice. We then cut to Kawaki and Sumire, where Kawaki deactivates Ishiki's eye, so that panel last chapter was kind of for nothing. It doesn't look like Kawaki was planning anything in that moment, he just activated the eye for fun. Sumire then asks Kawaki if it's all good now since Boruto is okay, and Kawaki just kinda stares at her with a serious expression. And before continuing here, my first thought was, no, it's not okay. Kawaki clearly feels troubled by something, and the question was if it was about the Karma Seal or about Boruto. Kawaki then shows Sumire his Karma Seal and explains that Amado restored it without Kawaki's permission, but also explains that in his heart, he actually desired it to come back, and that if he didn't have it, Naruto would be dead right now. Although, just keeping it real, Naruto wasn't gonna die that easily. He has Uzumaki genes for insane life force and is super strong. Pretty much one of the strongest people on the planet right now still. But of course, Kawaki doesn't know all that, and it just shows how paranoid he is about Naruto dying and his obsession with protecting Naruto. For this reason, Kawaki says, "It's the first time I was grateful to have it, from the bottom of my heart," which was the name of the chapter by the way, and I realized that I need it, which again shows Kawaki's dependence on the Karma Seal like it's a drug, but it goes deeper than that, as Jigen told Kawaki in the past that the Karma Seal was the only thing that could fill the hole in his heart, and I've been saying for a few months that Amado and Eida are using Code as a means to push Kawaki along, to keep depending on the Karma Seal and master its power further, and what do you know, Sumire then says that she thinks that it might be playing right into Amado's hands, and that she feels like the only reason why Mr. Amado is so hung up on Kawaki's karma is for his own purposes. Code then gets back to business and starts rushing to torture Amado because now things are moving in a weird direction. And then Amado starts making excuses about not being able to take it anymore, and then Shikamaru tells Amado to hang in there because Code won't kill Amado because if he dies now, Code will never get his limiters removed. but if Amado does remove them, then Code won't have any need for Amado and will just kill him then. But Amado then says he thinks he'll die of shock before that, and I think he's capping and making excuses. Eida then tells Code they need to hurry and retreat because Kawaki is coming, and he'll be there soon. And then we see Kawaki rushing over there. Amado then explains that there are exceptions to who Eida can entrap. One is a blood relative and the other is Otsutsuki. Shikamaru then asks, do you mean like Kawaki and Boruto? Eida's ability won't work on them? And Amado says, correct. Shikamaru then gets mad and is like, you! Why didn't you mention such crucial intent sooner? Amado then explains that if he had done so, Shikamaru would have summoned Kawaki right away to fight Code and Eida. Shikamaru is then like, and what's wrong with that? Wouldn't that be the best move for the situation we're in? Amado then gives away to Shikamaru that he's a bit of a slimy, sketchy, sussy old man because he says, give me a break. I can't afford to have Kawaki die. He almost died last time, and that was without Eida. Sorry, but I won't let you risk him like that. Which kinda goes back to chapter 55 when Amado was so worried about whether Kawaki was safe or not after the Ishiki battle, but didn't really care about anyone else. Shikamaru then asks what he's saying, and Amado goes on to say that Kawaki is a headache for Shikamaru and says, if I were in your shoes, I'd be thinking it would be most convenient if Code or Kawaki, or both, died fighting each other. And this makes Shikamaru really mad, and then Amado says not to stall until Kawaki gets there, and makes excuses about how they'll get another chance to take down Code, and how it would be good if Kawaki and Boruto got stronger first before fighting Code. Code then throws Amado into his claw mark on the wall to send him to Boru's hideout, and says that he'd rather have avoided taking him to the hideout, which I thought was kinda interesting. I'm not sure if it's because he didn't want Amado to know about Damon, but Code plans on killing Amado anyway, so I don't see why that would matter. So I wonder why he cares so much about taking Amado to the hideout. Code and Eida are then about to leave, but Shikamaru stops them with his Shadow Possession Jutsu, and he asks Eida, come on, what's wrong with meeting Kawaki? Why are you so bashful? And then Eida says, Delta dear. And Delta says, what is it, Eida dear? And Eida says, as you see, I'm in a bind. Could you help me? And then Delta attacks Shikamaru, and Shikamaru is like, what are you doing, Delta? Get a grip! And then Delta says, but Eida said! Which again just shows that it seems like it's not exactly easy to defy Eida's orders when you're in her presence, as I've said before plenty of times. So it is possible that we might see Boruto kill Sasuke because of Eida in the future, for part of Momoshiki's prophecy, but I won't harp on that topic today. Eida then says, I'm sorry, Shika dear. We'll be parting ways here, but thank you so much for your enticing offer. Let's meet again. Thank you too, Delta dear. I love you. And Delta says, I love you too, Eida. Please come visit again. And I thought this was interesting. I don't know if Eida was just saying I love you to Delta as part of her act, or if there was something else going on there, but I found it kind of funny when I read it. Code then tells Shikamaru that, despite how it looks, he doesn't like provoking extra animosity, but he's adding Shikamaru to his retribution list. And then Code leaves, and I like this scene of Code phasing through the claw marks. It kind of reminds me a lot of when Obito would slowly leave using Kamui, like when he left to go get Sasuke after the Itachi fight, after he was done trolling the Leaf Ninja. Kawaki then pops through the air vent and asks Shikamaru where Amado is because he needs to ask him something, and then Shikamaru says, who knows, he might already be dead. We then cut to the hideout where Damon gives Amado a very friendly greeting, and Amado is like, damn it Code, Damon too! Amado then asks Code, what will happen after I resign the limiters? Will you kill me? Code then says, probably. And Amado is like, how does that make sense? Who would want to go along with this if they know they'll be killed? And Code says that Amado would be freed from pain and die in peace, which is almost too good for someone like Amado. Amado then starts making more excuses and said that Code tends to go too far, and asks what he'll do if Amado dies of shock while Code is torturing him. And Code just gets more annoyed, so Amado explains the risk would be even higher, so he'll make an offer to Code. He'll remove the limiters right away if Code spares Amado's life. Code makes fun of Amado for being pathetic and asks if he has any pride, and Amado says, sorry, but I have no interest in such utterly useless concepts. Let's stop wasting each other's time, shall we? Code? Code then gets mad at Amado for his comebacks and asks him to just do it already, and then Amado gives the command, there's no dress code, and the limiters are removed. And I thought this was such a goofy command for this, but I have noticed that Amado's commands always seem to have the Kara members' names in it. Like with Delta, it was, "It's time to go to sleep, Delta." And with Code, it's, "There's no dress code." Anyway, the limiters come off and Code's appearance has changed, which I'm happy about because it indicates something more than just pure power, at least hopefully. At least he looks different, right? His hair is up now, his eyelashes are longer, his eyes might be different, it's hard to say for sure, and his nails are painted now. The nails thing kinda makes me laugh because, like, the hair is a common thing with power-ups, but the nails is just funny to me because it's like, why on earth is that remotely related to Code's limiters? Like, he looked like this beforehand, but then when Amado put the limiters on Code, his nail paint just disappeared. I just find that goofy. And another thing to mention is that Code did not look like this in the Kawaki flashback, so it seems like Code probably already had his limiters on at that point, but he didn't have the belt on his head, so he probably didn't have the claw marks and claw hands yet. I also misread the spoilers, so sorry about that. I thought Code had the limiters off already when he pushed Amado into his claw mark in the Leaf Village, so that's why I thought he went back to his original appearance afterwards, but he just hadn't gotten them off yet at that point, so that's my bad. Anyway, Damon yells, "White!" which probably means that Code now has white hair or extremely white skin or both, like the Otsutsuki and Ten Tails Jinchuriki Naruto do, which again makes you question, what's up with that white karma seal? Code didn't have the fancy eyelashes in the Kawaki flashback when Code first got the karma seal, when he was in that bag and stuff. And Code didn't have limiters on yet at that point because he wasn't too strong yet, he just got the karma seal. So unless they just didn't think this part through when they drew those earlier panels, it seems like Code's new appearance is related to the white karma seal. Now, the white karma seal is supposed to not be a regular karma seal, and so it wouldn't work to revive Ishiki Otsutsuki, which is a side note, Code still does not resemble Ishiki whatsoever, and if anything, seems even less Ishiki-like, so I'm gonna go ahead and say I was probably right when Barabi and I had that debate with Mello on the Cloud Ninja podcast like a month ago, when I said Code's karma doesn't have Ishiki's DNA, or at the very least, he's not gonna be able to access it, or Ishiki's abilities after the limiters come off. It's not looking that way. It seems completely separate from Ishiki, like I explained. So with that in mind, why does this seem to be related with a change in Code's appearance? Maybe it doesn't affect him genetically, but it hopefully isn't just a bland power boost, as it's changing his appearance similar to how Obito and Madara looked different after they became Ten Tails Jinchuriki, where they got white hair and very white skin, and Damon comments on Code being white. Code then says, "It's nice, feeling like I can't lose to anyone," and Eida and Damon are just looking at Code, and then Code says he'll free Amado from his suffering, and it looks like he plans to kill Amado. Now, a lot of you are probably like, "Oh no, Amado is gonna die!" And I'm gonna say this again. I don't think Amado is dying right now, for several reasons. The biggest reason is just the setup of the chapter. When have you seen a super important character die in the first panel of a chapter? Probably almost never. Code has his claws raised, like he's gonna swing at Amado right now, so the next panel would probably be the actual swipe. Amado's not just gonna die like that. If he was gonna die, they would probably do it at the end of a chapter, like they did in chapter 66 with Boruto. Imagine if they just ended chapter 66 with Boruto saying, "Do it, bro," and then at the beginning of chapter 67, Kawaki just stabs Boruto. It would have been pretty weird. And then there's plenty of other reasons too, like Amado has been getting more and more build up, especially with this chapter, so to kill him right now would be so weird. Plus, Eida said she wanted to kill Amado, not for Code to do it, and she also wanted to get more information on Amado's plans, which is why she was annoyed when Code jumped into the Leaf Village when Shikamaru was questioning Amado. So, I think Eida is gonna tell Code to stop, and unless he's a Suzuki now or something, he will probably listen to her, or even if he can resist her now, she'll probably just convince him to stop because she wanted to kill Amado, or because she wants to gain more intel from him, or potentially Amado uses his sound device thing to escape. I lean towards Eida just stopping Code one way or another though. Overall, I like this chapter a lot. I don't know if it was just me, but this chapter felt longer than most of the chapters usually do. I think maybe there were more panels per page or something because it felt longer to me, and I really liked the build up with Amado's character. And I'm happy to see that Code's limiters finally came off. And I also just feel like the artwork's been better lately. I really hope they don't just waste Code and have Eida and Damon eliminate him or something like right off. I'd like to see him get some good moments in development, and if he does split off with Eida, I'd like to see him not just die right off. I'd want to see him fight back and reveal some weaknesses and make them flee, or even have him escape, since he can always do that whenever he needs to. The biggest things I'm looking forward to next chapter is what else we might be able to see from Amado and learn about him, possible displays from Code showing off his new power and potential new abilities, and what Kawaki plans to do now in regards to Amado and Boruto. I want to hear what you guys think though, so let me know what you thought about this chapter, and let me know what your favorite part of the chapter was, and what's the biggest thing you want to see or get answered in chapter 71. Let me know in the comment section below, but that's a wrap on today's video, so thank you guys for watching until the end. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, like the video, and hit that bell icon. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!